It's the matchup YouTube commenters have been waiting for all year. Shai versus Jokic. Who is the real MVP? Hambone, you said you wanted to start this off.
I did not, actually. Shai is the real MVP.
The foul merchant, Shai.
Wow.
MVP.
Jalen Brunson's not up for it.
Oh, yeah.
Shai is the regular season MVP, but to this point, Jokic is probably the playoff MVP.
Wow. We're starting off spicy. This is Basketball Island. Hein, Hambone, Wes, Fab, and yeah, like this is kind of all four of us have sort of been on SGA Island when it comes to MVP all year. Understand the argument, obviously, for Jokic, but now we get it. We get it in the second round, and your Fab nailed it. I think Jokic has been the playoff MVP so far. But OKC's so good, that might not matter at all in round 2.
Well, I mean, like, that's nothing to do with MVP, right? You're talking about the team that's been better. OKC, they were blistering in the first round, and SGA didn't even have to have much of a series.
Numbers were down big time for the regular season.
He'll say it himself. He didn't have a good series at all. So, a lot of room for improvement for him going into this one. I think the main thing that I'm fascinated to see is you have all these people that were complaining about this regular season MVP debate. There was an 18-game gap between OKC and Denver's record. Let's see. Let's see how much that actually plays out in this series now. We're going to see, is that 18 gap just how it goes in the regular season, or is the skill level between these two rosters that different that OKC had this like all-time best net rating versus Denver was kind of middling in the pack? We'll find out right now.
I think the odds are a little out of whack in this series. I get that OKC's had a lot of time. Like they sweep Memphis. They're waiting here. Denver plays a 7-game series. It's like Denver plus 610 to win the series seems a little nuts to me. I don't think that's right. So therefore, I don't know, man. Like Denver is seasoned. They've done this. Russell Westbrook is the ultimate like chaos player. Like
Chaos
you don't know what you're getting. He's back in OKC. There's a lot of juice there. I do think Shai will dominate this series. I think he'll get looks. I don't know if Denver has the perimeter defenders to stop him.
Who is the primary defender on him?
I think it has to be Christian Brown.
That doesn't sound great to me.
It doesn't sound that great, right?
Like you don't have like an Amen Thompson, draped all over him like that. Like this is a good spot for him, and he has to step up. I think if Shai has a bad series in this one, it is
he will get flamed.
Deservedly.
So he was not great against the Grizz. And if you're making the case for Denver to make this a series, which I mean, FanDuel is saying it's not going to be a series,
which is shocking. Yeah.
Minus 900 is pretty
That's
convincing.
super aggressive. Crazy,
that's
aggressive.
Denver kind of showed us something in that Clippers series, did they not? Conventional wisdom was saying Clippers are better. All I heard was Clippers are the better team. They weren't. Denver blew them out of the water in Game 7.
Yeah.
Adelman made some good adjustments. He's kind of showing his mettle, and it's hard to just completely write off a team that has Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
And we haven't even mentioned Jamal Murray.
Playoff Murray.
Like, look at his numbers from last series.
Yep.
There's all this narrative that Jokic has no help. It's like, Gordon looked good to me.
They all
Jamal
look good.
Murray looked good to me. So did Westbrook.
Let's go back literally 1 year from now, before the T-Wolves series, where the Denver Nuggets were the overwhelming favorite to be the NBA champions. People looked at them as, yes, this is a situation where they're going to repeat. Not that much has changed. A few little breaks in that T-Wolves series. If they win that series, like what, you're up 20 in Game 7, maybe you know what I mean? Like, to me, the odds seems crazy based off of the pedigree, as you mentioned, that Denver has, and just the fact that they might have the best player in the series in Jokic.
Yeah, like I think the two things that jump out to me from that. Number one, they said, there's a huge depth drop-off from that season to this season. And as we saw, KCP,
But that's it.
not really doing that much in Orlando. So actually, arguably, sharp move.
Yeah.
But on Denver's side, the second thing that still jumps out, like you said, that was a season. Nuggets were coming off being champs. They got beat. So be it. This year, OKC's problem is the same. What have they done in the playoffs? Great regular season. Prove it to me. And we haven't seen that from OKC yet. So to this point, I don't care that OKC had an 18-game gap. That's my argument.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now.
It's all new.
Yeah.
Right?
To me, I'm not making the case for. I don't think Denver's going to win this series, but I do think they will make it more competitive than the odds suggest.
Agreed.
If I'm OKC, this is why I brought in Hartenstein and Caruso for this series, because you need a center who can now match up with Jokic, and Caruso is going to make life living hell. What I worry about with Denver is them blitzing their ball. So Jamal Murray's bringing the ball up every time. You're gonna have guys hounding you the entire time. So I don't know, can they cope with that? Russ is gonna have to carry some of that load. I think OKC has the tools to make the perimeter guys on Denver's life a living hell.
I think OKC is more equipped to stop Denver than I think Denver is equipped to stop OKC. Yes. And Shai, like to your point earlier, Christian Brown's the best defender on Shai. All right, man, that's cookies.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna eat that. He's gonna have to eat that. Now, the problem with OKC is the same problem that we had leading up to the playoffs. Is what if they decide to take Shai out? What if they give him the Steph Curry treatment like Houston just gave Steph? A slog, 7 games. Steph finally showed up in game 7, late too, in fourth quarter. What if Denver just decides we're sending 2 to Shai? Who else? Who steps up?
But I don't
That's
know.
the question.
I don't know if Denver has the personnel to do that effectively or not.
But if
that's easier said than done.
But if you send, theoretically, right? If you're gaming it out, if you send 2 guys, if you're fronting him across the court, you're playing this like weird matchup zone just to take Shai out. I think even if you have less equipped defenders to like succeed every single time, you're gonna take out his legs.
Well, you're gonna wear. Yeah, you're by the time if it goes far enough.
Yes.
He is gonna be exhausted by.
So who's the next guy, right? Yeah. So it's J-Dub, it's Chet. I'm a
probably
big Chet
J-Dub.
guy.
I love Chet, but I think it would be J-Dub in this series.
Of course, he does the ball handling outside of Shai having it. But like the other thing you're talking about, like matchups and like taking a guy out of this game. Do you think OKC has what it takes to take Jokic out of their offense?
So Hartenstein is a great, like him and Zubac are very similar in the sense that they're big, they're bulky, and they can survive up to a certain point against someone as talented as Nikola Jokic one-on-one. It's just, you're going to get guys on the court like Lou Dort, won't struggle too hard on a switch. Listen, it's still Jokic, but he's beefy. He'll put up a little bit of a fight. Caruso, one of the best dig and recover guys in the league. They have their Cason Wallace gets caught. I think he'll put up a fight. There are no weak links on the Thunder roster defensively, which I think to me is going to make life a little more live in hell for the Nuggets, especially Jokic. But we're still talking about Jokic here. Whereas conversely, I think like Nuggets have what? Like they're going to go confidently 6-7 deep.
That's it. But that's it. I think after Westbrook, maybe you get something out of Peyton Watson, and that's kind of where it ends.
And
for their bench.
And that's me's issue. Like Jokic could very well be the best player in the series. It might not even matter.
So OKC is just super deep, and Shai doesn't have to necessarily outplay Jokic for the Thunder to win. He may not even have to be 80% as good.
Simple for OKC. Can they score enough? They're going to defend.
I think they can.
Can they score enough? Are they scoring over 100 points every game? Are they scoring like in the 110s? That will determine the series.
Well, season series 2-2. Don't really think we can take much from that.
Throw it out.
Jamal Murray didn't play against Oklahoma City this year,
which is
I was like, so wait, nothing? We have no.
And we buried the league, man. So I think we pontificated a little bit that Jamal Murray would struggle against the Clippers because they had a lot of guards. Like Chris Dunn is like a monster. Like Jamal thrived
he was awesome.
against the Clippers. Yeah. OKC's got similar people like Caruso, Wallace.
When Murray's really going, it doesn't matter who's defending him because he's hitting difficult shots and step backs.
Championship shots.
Subplot to this is Shai and Jamal I don't feel like there's camaraderie between them.
No.
Like I don't know. I don't know anything, but it just seems like there's no vibe between them whatsoever for two guys who are like considered the best Canadian players.
Like, if we want it to be like really ESPN like story building,
first take.
Yeah, first take. Like, oh, these two Team Canada teammates, do they actually get along? Or like, who is the true leader of Team Canada? Right?
Yeah.
I think there is some of that brewing here. Listen, what do we know? We don't actually know the relationship. But the point being is, these are the two best Canadian players in the league right now, going at it. I think for Canadian basketball fans, you should be absolutely elated at the opportunity to watch the very best compete in a series like this.
Canada's fingerprints are all over these playoffs.
Yes.
All right? Like, and if you're watching like, game 6, game 5, game 6, like Shai versus Jamal and like big moments, like we should be proud of that, and I think that's a really, really cool moment. You got Lou Dort here. We'll talk about Andrew Nembhard, what he's doing in Indy as well, but I think it's a real seminal moment for Canada basketball.
It is, but before we move on from Denver OKC, just Russ coming back as the villain.
I know.
Oh, it's amazing.
And also, I'm now going to subscribe to, if I'm doing something wrong, the Russ, where I'm just going to hang on the rim for 10 seconds and then
chin ups.
Get the out of here! Get him out of here!
I'm actually like, I don't know about you guys. I was kind of happy for Russ.
I'm on board with it,
Yeah,
yeah.
listen,
Like,
man.
it's-
Russ is having a good moment.
Dude, like chaos is a ladder with that dude, man. Are you kidding me? He is going to single-handedly lose a game for the Nuggets.
While also winning it at the exact same time.
It's going to be heightened by like 1,000% in the
Oh, man.
Oklahoma
The
City.
emotions.
You thought you got on the roller coaster in the first round?
Before we move on to Warriors T-Wolves, I'm going to throw 2 dart throws at you, and you guys tell me what you think.
Darn it.
So first one, I've told you before, 10-1, Denver or OKC takes game 1, Denver wins series.
And you're betting that? You're betting that?
Yes, I
Okay,
think
so
I've
you're
already
on
bet.
Denver.
I think I've already bet.
I think.
So
Okay.
I've made a lot of bets. These playoffs have been crazy.
Yeah, great.
I don't think there's any chance, and by the time you're watching this game might have already happened. I don't think there's any chance coming off of that 7-game series, even though it was a blowout in game 7. Denver's going to lose game 1, but I still think it's like rather than take the plus 600 or plus 610, I'll take that. Here's another interesting one. Just the number. 23-1 Hartenstein to lead series in rebounds. Jokic is gonna lead the series in rebounds, but the fact of it is like Hartenstein's a guy who still averaged 11 boards a game during the,
Worthwhile sprinkle.
that's the
23-1. Why not?
A really tiny sprinkle.
I will pour one out for you. You almost had your LeBron from your woo,
God,
your round one woo.
That's a tough
okay?
beat.
That's a tough beat. to have
24
over.
boards?
Yes.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
It's okay,
Rudy,
Hein.
you got Rudied
So-
hard.
you got
Rudied
Rudied hard.
Hey, you
so
know what?
hopefully you get
Lakers,
it back
could
here.
anybody try to grab a rebound? Anyone.
Yeah.
It's a lot to
Yeah,
ask.
Carter, cue up the tape where I say LeBron's winning a title here, and I'll say this right now. We are 2 months away from LeBron James' 5th ring and the GOAT debate being reignited once again. I was right about LeBron. Everybody else let me down. LeBron, did you expect if LeBron was playing at the level that
Why
we
are we
just
talking
saw?
about LeBron? Just stop.
That's what he does.
Just stop.
All right,
Just let him have it. Just let him
Warriors,
have it.
T-Wolves.
Hold on. So we'll do our full roundup of all of our bets. I know, yes, you mentioned earlier, if you're watching this pod, game 1 may have already happened in this series, but a bet that I like, I think us 3 here on this side of the aisle, we'll address this at the end, but we love over 5.5 total games in the OKC Denver for all the reasons we mentioned. I think it's going to be, I think the odds are a little out of whack. I think Denver's not getting enough respect. I tip my cap to OKC. We're OKC supporters here, but that series is going to be competitive.
Yeah.
Denver's proved enough to. I'm giving them 2 games here.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm giving them 2 games. I'm not picking them to win, but
I'm not calling Denver to win, but they can. They absolutely can. There's a very easy path to them winning this series. So I'm with you.
And this ain't groupthink either. We all came to this individually, independently, and it just feels right. I think there's good value in the over 5.5 total games.
So, okay, moving on. Warriors, T-Wolves. Season series, Warriors won that season series 3-1. T-Wolves, all their main dudes played all of those games. So I was kind of surprised to see that the Warriors sort of had their way with them in the regular season.
It's been a while since they played. I don't think Jimmy Butler's played against the Wolves
But this
as a member of the Warriors.
This series spread, like I like Minnesota in this series, but I was kind of hoping for a little closer to even money on both sides. I was shocked to see Minnesota such a heavy favorite.
So I like the Warriors in this series. I think to me the big reason why is Steph Curry was just in a blender against Houston. Ahmed Thompson, Fred VanVleet, guys who can defend the out of him. In this series, while Minnesota does have solid defenders, Nikola Alexander-Walker, they got Jaden McDaniels, obviously Ant-Man, I think Steph's going to have an easier time of it. There's something to be said for coming from a blender, a really tough spot, and get like new beginnings, right, against like Minnesota. I think they got some weak spots. Mike Conley's a little weak. Dante DiVincenzo's not that great. Rudy Gobert on a switch is just, we've seen that before. Although the numbers would bear out that he's actually handled himself pretty well. But Steph Curry is a unicorn in that regard. I like Steph to have a big series. I like Steph to have a big game 1. I think he's going to get looser against the Wolves. And for that reason, I think the Warriors grind out this series. But hard to bet against what we just saw with Minnesota against LA. But
you know what? I like the Warriors as well. I think that just happened to be a terrible matchup for the Lakers, more so than I think it was the Wolves like really showing that they're made of like a championship medal. They just, they played against a team with very little perimeter defense and no rim protection. Let's see what Edwards can do against a team that's way more stout defensively, way smarter defensively. I'm not convinced that they beat Golden State. Season series was in Golden State's favor 3-1, you said. I think Steph, to your point, gets loose in the series. I just trust them a little more, although I do think it might be tough for them to win game 1 coming off the series they just came off of.
Those 7 games, I think.
Yep. It's going to have some wear and tear, especially these old teams. It's definitely going to matter.
Well, there's also the element of surprise, right? Like, yeah, on paper it makes sense. Like, oh, what Team A has been waiting for like 3-4 days.
It's the classic
They're
Sports
fresh.
Center debate: rest versus
Rust. Yeah, exactly. But it's like, or you are in the trenches, you're seasoned, you're grinded out, and now all of a sudden the shackles are a little looser, and you're just like kind of exploring the space. Oh, I'm sorry.
One thing though is that I do,
do that.
and Kerr proved this in the Rocket series. He will throw a game away if he needs to.
I know.
Yeah.
So that I do.
That's a worry.
So
Bold.
I do think this leans towards like a 6 or 7 game series. Like this doesn't feel like a 5-gamer to me.
Yeah. The other thing I was just gonna add to that is like you talked about going from the Lakers to the Warriors and being like a jump in defense. This is Golden State. That's been number 1 in defense since Jimmy Butler's joined this team. So Minnesota's facing a very different roster than the Lakers, who had Luka the Pylon playing 5-4 the whole time. And so like Minnesota's offense was not great.
Wes going full
And
windy
then,
here.
but their offense wasn't great, and then they got a little bit of kind of a handicap with that, and then they still didn't have that great an offensive series. It was an okay offensive series. I think they're going to come faced with a lot more wrinkles with what Golden State's able to throw at them. That's why I like Minnesota. I don't know if I trust their offense. I really don't know what's going to happen to their offense if Golden State, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler like are able to defend and set up the way that they did against Houston. Houston, to me, and Minnesota have the same strength over the Warriors, and that's my concern is what's going to happen when they just size up against them? Is Draymond on his own in the paint going to be enough? As we saw, Adams and Şengün almost took the series away.
But
from
see,
the
I think
Warriors.
Golden State has now seen that and
Yes.
played. I think the Rockets are a better version of the Wolves in terms of defense and rebounding.
Yep.
Like the
No,
Wolves aren't.
but-
No,
hold
the
on,
Wolves
no.
aren't better at that.
Yes, but you're omitting the most crucial part of playoff basketball, which is if the Rockets had a guy who could get buckets late, the Rockets win that series. And Minnesota has one of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's going to go and get buckets
So
late.
you're not wrong there. I just think the Rockets, to Fab's point, have no weaknesses defensively across the board. Like every perimeter defender that they played against the Warriors was good.
But Şengün's average.
But he's more of a big, and they kind of hit him in the zone. Even Jalen Green was better defensively than he was offensively. Against the Wolves, we just pointed out 2 bad, or not bad, but like not great perimeter defenders in DiVincenzo and Conley. And then Gobert is, you can get got.
Not even Randall. Randall's not great.
And Randall, we didn't
Randall's
mention.
not
Although
great.
I'll give a little tip of the cap
I
to
just
Randall
think
for that first round, but
Yeah.
I just think the Lakers' defense made the Wolves look so much
Yes,
better,
yes,
and their
yes,
lack
yes.
size made them look so much
Yes.
better than they maybe were, and that's what I'm betting on. But to your point, the Edwards wild card is there. Like Houston does not
100%.
have that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing I just want to add to that is like Warriors Rockets. That was an unders series.
Yeah.
All
We
series.
flagged that early. That was-
Minnesota's the same here. This is a defense first team.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a repeat of that, I think, coming up. So look out for that in this series.
Do you guys feel better about the Warriors than you did coming into the playoffs? Because I look at them now as I was higher on them coming into the playoffs versus what I saw.
Yeah,
versus
yeah, they're-
Houston.
I'm higher on the Rockets after seeing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
series.
Yeah,
And
same.
That's
But
more. That's more of my takeaways. That the Rockets were the 2 seed, much better team than people gave them credit for, and they threw a lot of at Golden State. Man, like they're hard to deal with.
we talked about this offline in a group chat. I question a little bit, and I know this is like blasphemous, but like you mentioned it too, like Steve Kerr. Like, what's your infatuation with like constantly playing 3 non-shooters on the court at all times?
And that I think plays into Minnesota's hands with Gobert. You can keep Gobert on the court so much more
So
because you have non-shooters.
Maybe Game 7 like got his head out of his ass a little bit. Like Gary Payton II
Was
not playing
sick.
Game
we
7,
said that
so
at the
he's
beginning.
sick.
You flagged that as like this might actually be helpful.
Yeah,
for
maybe just
Golden
get some
State.
spacing. Because, like, with all due respect to Houston, who played a great series, but, like, Steven Adams, in my opinion, should not have had that much of an impact as he did.
I know.
But you're able to play him because Gary Payton II, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler, not traditional three-point shooters, are constantly on court. Maybe play a little more pods. Moody didn't have a great Game 7, but at least he gives you a threat to shoot the ball. I think Kerr needs to, like, play 3 shooters on the court at all times. I understand Steph has amazing gravity. He can make up for a lot of mistakes from other people. I just think a team like Minnesota that could conceivably camp out like same way, like that was tape. Udoka and the Rockets gave the Timberwolves tape there. This is a way to play 2 bigs if you want and stop Golden State. I think they need shooters on the court.
Kuminga Island, not a lot of people left.
No,
It's
abandoned.
I
It's
said
empty
it's
now.
Lord of the Flies.
Oh, it's-
No one's holding the conch.
Oh, dude, he's Kuminga just that zone confused the living hell
Yeah.
out of him.
Are you
Bad
guys,
decisions
Are
all
you guys
around.
excited for the basketball equivalent of the Arnold Carl Weathers handshake in Predator when Jimmy and Ant?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You son of a
Like,
So the elephant in the room, Ant-Man. It's good.
The ant in the room.
The ant in the room. Nice. He has a lot of burden in this series because the Warriors do have defenders. Again, to your point, Wes, number one defense down the stretch of the regular season. He needs to make the right decisions all the time. And to Fab's point earlier too, like, you're not going to be able to get to the rim at will. Austin Reeves ain't walking through that door. You're not going to be able to stroll your way and just be able to decipher. Like, you're going to see hands, you're going to see toughness, you're going to see bodies and guys who can stay with you. This is Ant-Man's series. If Ant-Man pulls all the correct strings, cool. He also needs his boy Julius Randle to really, can Randle replicate what he did in round one? I'm not buying it. I think the Warriors have more defensive personnel.
Yep. But he's got the strength.
He's tough. Definitely tough.
It's the same thing. The Warriors, as good as they are defensively, they got exposed a little bit in round one.
They did.
Houston.
But I'm willing to bet on the infrastructure. I'm willing to bet on Steph having a series. So if I'm betting this series, I'm going Warriors. But again, you could get frisky with it. Wolves game one, Warriors to win the series. But
Warriors plus 1.5 is minus 154.
Well,
I think
not
you're better off
terrible.
just betting.
Not terrible.
I got some bets on it for the. We can go.
We'll recap it all again.
Go for this at the end, but.
Okay, but dart throw. Anybody got dart throw for this?
Nothing too. I mean, Warriors in 7 is a plus 630.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh man, but if you have future equity on the Warriors, playing 2 7-game series before you get to the conference finals is not ideal.
Yeah, then
as someone who has them to win the West,
that's when you take OKC minus 2.5 in the conference finals.
Great. You mean that? All right, let's go to the Eastern Conference. Celtics, Knicks. Honestly, if you look at the Knicks numbers against good teams, oh my god! Especially Celtics won the season series 4-0, won those by an average of 60 a game. And
wait, what?
No, total.
16
total.
a game. 16.
60. I think it's 60.
60. That.
Definitely.
I'm like, what the?
Sorry.
I heard 60.
All right. Maybe they did win by. No, they won those games by an average of 16 a game. Shot 50% from the field and 45 from 3 in those 4 games. So
that's
your threes over for this. For the Celtics threes over this. I don't know. Knicks are going to get punked here. This is going to be fun. If the Knicks take more than a game, I will be shocked.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I mean, what I'll flag is that one of those games that they played was the season opener when Boston shot 50 plus 3, just tried to break the record. Mm-hmm. All right. That was one of the games. And that's when New York was just coalescing with their new lineup. So
you can throw that one out.
I think you can throw that one out.
But I think if you look at the Knicks versus Boston, OKC, and Cleveland, that's a better representative.
Oh yeah, they're
what the
12.
Knicks. Yeah, against good teams, they're absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I think this, for me at least, this is a good time to point out that look, as kind of half-assed of a first round Boston had against Orlando, I still stand strongly that the Celtics have the easiest path to the final and ultimately the title. This series, it's all on the Knicks. Are the Knicks going to finally show that they have the gumption to compete against some tougher level teams? I was very underwhelmed with how they almost got by Detroit. They were losing that series almost 75%, yet stole a game or two here or there with some good clutch time moments. I'm very low on the Knicks. The Celtics I'm not high on, but I think if you go pre-playoffs, my feelings about Boston was they should be able to have the smoothest path to the finals here, especially who might come out of the other series as well. So I stand with you. I think Boston's set up for success here. Let's see what New York can bring to the table. I don't know what other cards they got to show.
Well, first of all, keep loading up on Jason Tatum, East Finals MVP, because we're going to get paid for that, hopefully. For this series, I'm just trying to think, is there a world where the Knicks can do something in this series? Is this the culmination of you made all these moves, you brought in Cat, you got in Bridges, you kind of have all these guys at a veteran level, Tibbs kind of wants to get over the hump here. Can they make this a series? I can't get there. I don't. Is it too obvious to just say Knicks or Celtics in 5?
Yes.
Celtics in 4? Is that too obvious of a...
Celtics will, I don't know whose quote it is. I think it might be you, but Celtics play with their food. Knicks will get a game. A Garden crowd will carry them to 1 win. Boston and a gentleman's sweep.
Is there maybe Detroit was better and presented tougher matchups against them than we thought?
Dude, Detroit.
I know,
the inexperience of the Pistons handed the Knicks that series.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Pistons maybe were scrappier than we thought.
Cade was great.
Cade was amazing.
Maybe the Knicks can be a little better offensively against Boston. I don't know.
So you touched on it. 2 big points for me. in this series is Thibodeau. Jalen Brunson iso ball, like for the entirety of the fourth quarter, is not a tenable offensive strategy against the Celtics. It's just not. You need to see a little more creativity there. Not denying Brunson is an amazing player, clutch player of the year, footwork off the charts. He can create shots for himself. I don't think that's a tenable strategy against a seasoned Boston team that has defenders across the board. Like Drew Holiday. He's back. Like, that's just another guy. Him, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Like, those are dudes that they can throw at Brunson and wear his ass out. Worried about that. Positivity on the Knicks side. We're talking about like coaches giving teams tape. The Orlando Magic did something really interesting against the Celtics. They kept everyone on an island. Very little help. Guard your man. If they blow by you and get a layup, cool. The Knicks theoretically should have the pieces to be able to replicate that strategy. The one guy that may not is Cat, which is like, you know, he's going to be the big part of this. Are you going to melt down or are you going to play with your head? Like, are you going to not commit fouls? And are you going to...
I think you've answered your own question.
I'm trying to like find ways to justify betting because the spread and the numbers are out of whack. What are the Celtics minus 900 to win this series? Like the Knicks theoretically should be good, should be well positioned to play a team like the Celtics. They built their team to face Boston.
Yes.
That's the whole point. I think the Magic gave them some tape. I just worry about the 1, which is Jalen Brunson, and the 5, which is Karl Anthony
And that's
Towns.
the problem is, like, if you go back to that, everyone wants to talk about how he puts a sewer, like, in the blender, hits that shot, gets to 40.
Amazing.
Watch that entire fourth quarter. For the first 6 minutes of that fourth, he took bad shot after bad shot after bad shot, and the Knicks offense was 4 guys standing around watching Jalen Brunson dribble.
It's hard to watch.
And he is also, dude, it's almost like he was all series. He looked exhausted. He looked hurt. Boston, you nailed it with all those guys. Boston can throw all those dudes at him, hound him over the course of that entire series. He is going to be so gassed out, and I don't think they have a chance. A very interesting bet that I saw, and I've already bet it this morning, so before Wes can move the line with his whale bets, Tatum to lead series in boards, plus 370. That's a big number for a guy who averaged like 11.
So I looked at that. I had that in the previous series, but he missed game 2, and then Wendell Carter got it. But
okay, so plus 370 though is
so Karl Anthony Towns has been racking up the boards. But if you don't believe in Towns and he fouls out,
I was gonna say when he doesn't play the last 4 minutes of a couple games because he fouls out,
it's interesting.
I'll hop.
Yeah, nice. There we go. Okay, so like everybody's Boston in 5. Like there's like.
I mean, we'll get to the 5 units. I have a bet, but we'll get to it. Do we want to touch on the other series?
Yeah, let's finish off with Pacers. And honestly, if we could have done a podcast yesterday, you would have heard. I think all 4 of us Fab flagged it early with Pacers plus 7.5 or plus 8.5, wherever you got it. Money line, like we were believers in the Pacers. And
more importantly, we didn't believe in the Cavs.
Yes, and
especially with no Garland.
I'm gonna hit you with some numbers here. Since January 4th. Tell me, this team is 34-14, 4th in the NBA, averages 119 points per game, shoots 49% from the field, 5th in the NBA, and is a top 10 defensive rating. Are we talking about Cleveland or are we talking about Indiana?
Indiana.
We're talking about Indiana.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
if only you had this research before your Bucks bet.
Hey, hold on.
If only any of you guys did this research before the Milwaukee series.
Not cool.
Look, I agree. I downplayed the Pacers big time. I just
get well soon.
Yeah, they had no chance with him either.
When Gary Trent Jr. banging threes like that.
Anyways, no, you're right. So I think to your point, Indy probably deserves a little more respect than they've gotten.
They do.
They're one of 4 teams who are at a 70 winning percentage.
They're good. They're a very good team who's clear on what they want to do.
Yeah.
They're deep.
They know who they are.
I don't know if they
Very
beat
deep.
Cleveland. I like the odds because they're so slanted in Cleveland's favor right now.
Cleveland are frauds. All right, and here's why. Here's why Cleveland are frauds. All right, Jared Allen and DeAndre Hunter. I understand the preemptive move they made to acquire Hunter. It makes sense on paper. But those guys don't got it.
You don't play on paper, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They just don't have it. They don't have the requisite tenacity, and I don't think they have. Like, Jared Allen, to me, is not a guy you should be playing late in the game because I think he's a person you pick on, which is what Tyrese Halliburton did game 1, down the stretch, over and over.
Yes, do whatever you want.
And, like, unless the Cavs have, like a solution for that, and the solution really is you don't spend that much money on someone like Jared Allen, and you use that to get a wing that isn't Isaac Okoro or Sam Merrill or all like Dean Wade. Like, I'm sorry, these guys might be nice in the regular season. They are not playoff performers. I wish we were doing this pod beforehand so I could tell you to slam the Pacers, which we've been saying, fade the Cavs for a while. But yeah, I don't want to like take up too much time, but two people on the Pacers who I absolutely love. Andrew Nembhard, Canadian.
Pains me he's not a Raptor.
Yeah.
It really hurts.
It really hurts me.
We had him in TSN studios the night of the draft, and I
Should've-
think he wanted to be a
Should have
Raptor.
convinced him.
He went 2 spots before Koloko, I think?
2 spots before.
1 or 2 spots.
Yeah, which just sucks. But that dude is just the two-way monster.
Grimy.
Oh my god! Like, and he's banging threes too. Like, just unbelievable.
Playoff player.
Playoff guy. Him and Jamal Murray,
Yeah.
by the way, like 2 Canadians who rise to the occasion in the playoffs. You love to see it. And Rick Carlisle, like, man, the ability to get the buy-in from the entire Pacers roster. Like, we're gonna play 9 guys, 10 guys, and it's gonna hum. The ball's gonna fly around. It's really beautiful to watch. I think Rick Carlisle deserves a lot more credit for what this team has done. And like, yeah, we slept on him. We did. I thought the Bucks were going to win that
Especially
series.
this is a team that went to the conference finals last year, so they know how to win in the playoffs.
Impressive. I think there was a lot of comparisons to like Atlanta, like getting to the conference finals. But no, this is a real
Yeah,
team.
but it's a little.
So I do think that Cleveland probably responds at home to win game 2. So we're giving out these bets. Like, you probably should wait till after game 2 if you like Indy in the series. Just I'm going to give Cleveland a response at home after losing game 1. I don't think Pacers are sweeping them here.
My one point I wanted to add was coming out of round 1, we've already alluded on some of these teams like, oh, concerns, oh, exposed, oh, didn't look so great in this first round. Indy and Cleveland, to their credit, are the 2 teams that came out of round 1 like, ooh, they showed more than we probably expected of them coming into the playoffs. So it's funny that they have to face each other now, but these 2 teams, I think, gained more respect coming out of their series. Indy, especially the way they manhandled Milwaukee, I think they showed right away that wasn't no fluke. So this is to me, this is a tough series. I don't feel strongly on either side. To their credit.
I threw this out last week that if you liked Indy to beat Cleveland, they were 20-1 to win the East because I don't think they'd beat Boston in a series. But if you're sitting on a 20-1 and you have a team in the Eastern Conference Finals, you have some hedge options there. And I've said this a couple times as well. I think Indy played Boston better than anyone else did last year, including the Mavericks.
And
a couple of those games easily could have gone Indy's way without a couple really late meltdowns. I think that could be the conference finals again. We'll see. I think they play them super tough.
Why I like Indy and like I respect to Cleveland in this regard too. Like, they have an identity and they stick to it.
Exactly. They know who they are. And that's important at this stage.
They run off misses. They run off makes. Like, and I think that's why Indiana in this case, if you go 9 deep, you can run all game.
You got energy.
All game.
And you know what? Listen, let's not sleep on, Halliburton. A lot of people chirp him. He's the driver of how they play.
Yep.
A lot of driving kicks. Siakam has been a steady secondary scorer for them. Yeah. And honestly, you didn't even mention Aaron Nesmith.
Yes.
Grimy. Like, they have guys.
Former Celtics.
It's going to be a good series. I could see this going 7 games.
Two-way players in the starting lineup that are kind of like I don't know, a little underrated, right? Like Nembhard, Nesmith, Pascal. Like, even Miles Turner had a bad game 1, and they still thrived.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of two-way guys. Like, Halliburton's the weakest link defensively, but he gives you so much. He's the engine of what they do on offense.
Creates so many shots for other guys.
Yeah,
and what I like about them is they get good looks more often than not every
Yeah.
time down the court.
Very good quality.
So does Cleveland. That's why it's like this might be an over series too,
no,
right?
no,
It's so far,
absolutely
yeah.
over series.
It's just
100%.
Garland. It's just it comes down to Darius Garland, man. Like, that's no joke. Like, he's, we were having this debate offline too. Like, who's the second best player on Cleveland? Is it Mobley or Garland? On offense, it's 100% Garland. On defense, 100% Mobley.
DPOY.
Yeah.
Mobley.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean,
He was robbed. Green was robbed.
Dude, Draymond Green was fucking. If you watch Game 7, oh my goodness,
Hold
Draymond
on.
Green was nuts.
Wemby was even robbed. Give me half a season
I
of
know.
Wemby's defense over all those guys.
No, I agree. I agree.
seriously.
I agree, brother.
Right. The rest of the league knows too.
Do we want to do the units?
Yeah.
Let's
Wanna
do
go
it.
down the line?
As I'm
do
changing
it.
mine on the fly here.
Wow.
You're changing yours
I
on
changed
the
That's why
fly?
you got so quiet.
Get
That's
quiet.
Hein was just typing away. All right, I'll go first just to
Go
break
ahead.
the ice. Yeah, is that cool? You're going to get some time? You're going to be all right?
I think I'm okay.
That's
B.
nice.
Go for it.
I alluded to this earlier. Denver, OKC. I think that series is a little off. Over 5.5 games. I got 2.5 units on that, plus 118 on FanDuel. I think you're seeing at least 6 games in that series. Let's show some respect. Show some respect to Denver in this regard. I know what OKC is. I know that they are a bulldozer, but respect Jokic, battle of MVPs, Canadians on both sides. I want to see a good series, and I think we will. I got the Warriors to win. 2 units. I'm believing. I'm believing in Steph Curry.
That's big time.
I'm believing that he will unfurl himself from the shackles of Amen Thompson and Fred VanVleet. And I think he'll have a better go at it against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And this is purely a value play. I don't necessarily believe it, but again, I'm alluding to the Nuggets series again. 0.5, half a unit on the Nuggets just to win the series because they have arguably the best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic. Plus 610. That seems insane to me. I just think the value's there. If you want to get frisky, to your point earlier, Hein, and wait till game 1 and then bet them to win the series second after the game 1, go crazy. But if you want to get your money in now, Nuggets plus 610.
Well, you can also get your money in now, and I have a half unit on it with Thunder to win game 1, Nuggets to win series.
There you go.
10-1. That's a segue, Wes. That's a segue.
Are we all? I mean,
we gonna go
I know
down?
the value's there, but OKC's winning the series.
Yeah,
Probably.
Right?
Are we gonna go down?
Like,
A half unit. A
Okay,
half
Let's
unit.
go down
And,
the
like,
line here, okay?
Go ahead, Wes.
So I'll do the same. We all have the bet, so let's just play. So I have 2.25 on OKC Denver going to at least game 6.
Sharp.
So the reason why I like it is I was looking at Denver plus 2.5, and the price is plus 108.
Yeah, it's better odds.
You get plus 118 with this going to 6, which is essentially the same thing you're saying with Denver, with the juice that is Denver going to beat OKC 4-1? I don't think so.
No.
So I think no matter what, this goes to 6. Do you guys think Boston can go 3-0 against New York? Do you think they'll open with that? Is it?
Are you doing one of those first 3 games bets? Those those things are
So-
a death trap for me.
They are. Yeah, they
I
are.
don't think Boston can go 3-0. I don't. No matter what, I don't think. I know New York's had a bad track record. I don't see this being a series where it's already over by game 3. So I'm taking Boston correct score after 3 games 2-1.
What does that pay? You probably get a nice number on
No,
that.
that's 112. It's
Oh,
112.
I would think
but
that'd
to
be
me, it's
higher.
like I don't think New York's gonna be up 3-0. I don't think Boston's gonna be up 3-0. At worst, it's New York somehow is up 2-1. I really don't. Hey, listen, this is.
And you could also hedge too, because by the time you get there, when it's 2-0 Boston, you can probably get like Knicks money line even at home. If you
Call
really
this a
want
feel bet, stupid bet. I just don't think Boston can go up 3-0 in this series. I just don't see it playing out for them, especially how they played against Orlando. Another one that I like that we talked about it earlier, Brunson to lead this series in total assists is super heavy, but I'll still put a unit on that because I do think the key for them is for him to not pound the ball so much. Boston, more egalitarian. There's nobody really that gets up to 8-9 assists per game. That's where Brunson usually sits. So I'm hoping
But
that's
do you-
my safe bet
But
there.
do you think the Knicks will do the like? Have you seen enough from the Knicks that you think they'll completely change the way they play? Because
I mean,
that's.
Brunson averages more than 2 assists per game more than any other.
I know,
Boston
but I mean, just to your point of like that, you really think that they'll change the?
So to me, it's like at baseline, it's 7.5 versus 5.5 on the next closest.
Which might be
Celtics
enough
guy.
anyways, right?
My point I'm trying to say is I think it's more likely the lever switches to Brunson passing more than the passing less. So to me, if it was neutral, I already like the bet. And I'm adding the fact that I think the key for them, if they're going to make any adjustments, is that they have to move the ball more. So I think there's room for Brunson. Mine is 190. Okay, that's a really short price, but so be it. And then I'm on the Warriors 1.5 plus 1.5.
Plus 1.5.
I have a 3/4 unit bet on that, and hopefully that gets me covered.
Well, Wes is the only one that made money after the first round, so I'm just trying to chase it.
Thanks,
not a
Gobert.
lot. Not a lot. Basically made nothing.
Am I up
chasing
here?
it.
Go for it.
Go get
All right,
it.
OKC Denver over 5.5 games.
Wow.
Gone through this plus money.
And this isn't groupthink. We all came up with this independently.
I'm taking 1 unit Warriors to win series plus 150.
Fab
And I'm
and
sprinkling 0.25 on Warriors in 6
Ooh.
at plus 490.
Wow.
Plus a quarter unit on Warriors in 7 plus 630.
Yeah, so they're
Wow.
not winning in 5. They're not winning.
They're not winning in 5. Pacers to win series. I would probably bet this after game 2, realistically,
Yeah.
but for all intents and purposes, 1.5 units plus 188. And
That's a great number. Already up 1-0. That's unbelievable.
right.
Yeah.
And Celtics minus 2.5 series spread, minus 128 for a unit.
So I'm very similar on that Celtics.
Wow.
There's only 4 series.
I'm giving the Knicks a game. I don't know. Maybe this feels too obvious, like that the Celtics are going to win in 4 or 5 here, but
I just don't think they're going to sweep either. I don't think
so either. I hope that the Knicks can actually make this into something.
Me too.
I'd like to see a good series here, but there's nothing suggesting this is going to work
I can
out for
already
New York.
feel like the sphincters in Madison Square Garden tightening.
Oh, that's a front running stadium. If things
We'll
aren't
see,
going
man.
well, it's very.
Maybe the Knicks will surprise us.
Nah.
Maybe they'll surprise us. We'll see, man.
Otherwise,
Based off of my units, I
Nah.
hope they don't surprise us. Because I have 1 unit, Celtics to win series 4-1, plus 210. 2 units, Knicks Boston under 5.5, Warriors
Wow.
T-Wolves over 5.5. That's a plus 161. 1 unit, Pacers Cavs total games 6 at plus 164.
Oh, on the nose?
On the nose 6. And then half unit, Thunder to win game 1, Nuggets to win series 10-1. And then half unit, Tatum to lead series and rebounds plus 370.
I'll hop on
I like the Tatum one.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do accountability city since you talked about it. I barely won any money in round 1.
Well, hold on. If we're
Nobody
talking-
won any money in round
Hey.
1. So we better get some back here in round 2, all right?
There was, if you were to poll us at the halfway point, I believe Wes said it's not who's winning money, it's who's gonna lead by the most money.
Yeah,
we were
well,
counting those bets by the halfway point, and then we kind of
There's a lot of time left in these playoffs. I will say though, so our parlay over 5.5 games. Little did I think the Lakers would be the one
hold
to
on.
ruin that for us, but
We hedged.
I have to point this out. We had an opportunity to hedge Minnesota money line in that game, and we did. So I know
That's why you do
don't
that.
hear it from us, but,
No, but-
in
and
actuality, that's where you set yourself up for those
and
situations.
they were plus 250. We had what we wanted
Yeah.
from Rockets, and I still
Yeah.
can't believe that.
Anyways.
was
Yeah,
a costume, but
Warriors not closing the series out in Game 6 at home.
that screwed you.
That's
screwed me
that's
up.
what happens, man. Playoff basketball surprises.
Just to flag this too on game-to-game betting, I kind of lightly mentioned it before, but this has hit 5 of 6 games in that Knicks series. Watch Brunson's in-game points. When they sub him in around the 8-minute mark, that went over 5 of 6 games, and the only game it didn't go over was because the Knicks couldn't figure out how to get him on the bench, and he was on the scorer's table for 3 minutes. So just watch that in terms of in-game. Anything you guys are liking game-to-game that's sort of been...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Steph Curry, points,
Game 1.
threes, Game 1 against the Wolves. I think he's, again, I'll reiterate this, freed from the shackles of Amen Thompson and Fred VanVleet and Tari Eason and all these guys. Like, I think he goes off.
West game-to-game, anything you're liking?
No, you guys go ahead.
If Garland continues to miss time, Mitchell points.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think he was 27.5. I mean, he's probably getting 30.
His number to lead the series is
It's
crazy.
like
It's
1,350 minus right now.
And I'm going to miss betting Jalen Green under points.
Yeah.
So thank you,
right.
Jalen Green. You really got me through that series.
Rest in peace,
Okay.
5-6.
All right, when you see us next week, it's guys, we're back to talking Raps.
Yeah.
Because
Lottery.
the lottery's coming. Cooper Flag's future will be determined the next time you see us. Catch us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.